Let's learn how to actually talk with internet by using Java. So we're going to be needing two things. First of them is going to be a client that will allow us to actually connect to the internet, and then we'll need a proper type of request. So let's dive right into it. I've got a fresh project created right now without any sort of outside resources or any outside libraries. I just have raw Java. So let's try and create our first request. So first of all, what we will be needing is HTTP client. And in order to create it, we just need to call HTTP client equals HTTP client new builder.build. So this is a bit different what we have been seeing in the past because it's not really a constructor, right? So if this is your first time seeing it, you can be a little bit confused, but this is called a builder. So those are special methods that allow us to create an object out of it, but it's not done via a constructor. This is a very, very popular pattern in Java that I'll dive deeper into in the next video. However, for the time being, let's just say that as a result of the build method, we get out our client. So that's the first part that we need. The second part is going to be HTTP request. And actually, it is also going to be using a builder. So let's go with HTTP request new builder.build. And what is actually happening here is I need to provide it a little bit more because right now there is not much context into it, right? So what we'll need is, first of all, we'll need a URI, so universal resource identifier. So this is actually the web address that we want to ask. And for our case, the address that I'll be wanting to ask is something that is a very, very nice fake REST API that allows me to really see or rather test out my code. So let me just give me a second to show you what I want to be using right now, because it is very, very important for us to be able to use any type of REST API. And in order to use a REST API, we first need it, right? So we've got 3 fake REST APIs available at JSON placeholder at jsonplaceholder.tpcode.com, where we can actually get to see some scripts and we can see some resources. So the resource that I want to be using right now is going to be the users. So I just go into here, and as you can see, if I do a GET request on this particular page, I get a full list of users. So in order to make use of it, I'm just going to copy and paste the URL that I have over here. And let's go back into the IntelliJ. So right now I've got this in my clipboard, and what I can do is create a new URI. So in order to create a URI, first we need string address equals what I have just copied over. In the builder, we put a new URI with the address as an input, and as you can see right now it's underlined in red. Why? Because creating a URI can be resulting in URI syntax exception. And why am I using a URI and not just this particular address? Because if we go into the URI class that is required to actually make a request, you can see that there's quite a lot of information in it. It is over 3,700 lines long. So a URI is way more complicated than just the address that we got over here. So that's why we want to use it. But then I got the URI, I got the address I want to ask. So another thing that I need is just the method that I'm going to be using. So what I will be using is actually a get. You may remember this from the previous video that we have. If not, then please head on over to the video that is talking about HTTP protocol to get to know what methods there are. But the get is going to be actually the same type of request that I have just done in my browser, because this is the default request that is used for asking for data. So now that we've got get out of the way, let's then try to generate a response, right? Because we've got a request, we've got a client. So what we'll be needing is HTTP response of type string that I will explain in just a second. Response equal request that, sorry, not request, but client dot send. And then what we'll need is, of course, our request and a handler of the body handlers of string. So what actually does it mean? It means that we're sending out our request and we want it to be handled via string body handler. It means that we expect that the response that we will get will be actually in string format. It can be in very many formats. It can be in a file, it can be in a byte stream or any sort of way, but a string is the simplest to use, first of all. And second of all, this is used for JSON. So this is also why I put in here string as an argument within this particular creation of an object, and why I'm using these body handlers of string. Additionally, this is read as well. So additional things that we need to catch within our try catch. Right now, I'm not really willing to showcase anything here because at the end of the day, those are different exceptions and can have different meanings, and we should be treating them properly. But right now, this is not my main focus of this video. So right now, actually, at the end of the day, at the line 15, what we get is client.send, meaning that we are actually sending out the request and we should be getting some response back. So in order to be able to see it, let's check what response object actually gives us. First of all, we can check out the status code of it. So this is very, very useful to see. For example, if the status code is 400, it means that we done something wrong, or something else has happened. Or for 500, it means that our code just doesn't work. So this is very useful for testing, for example. And then let's see what is the body of our request. Because if we were to just print out the response itself, let's first try it out to check if everything is working properly. What we'll get in return is actually just the method used, what we've got, the URI, and then the code that we've gotten. So we've got 200, sorry. So it means that everything is working properly, but let's make double sure that everything is nice and dandy by commenting out the line and seeing the body of it. And here you can see that I have successfully communicated with a resource in the internet. First of all, I've got a response code 200, everything is working properly. And I've got an array of JSONs, meaning that this is an array of JSON objects. And right here between curly brackets, this is a single JSON object representing an user. And I know it's an array because I've got a bracket over here. So to sum it up, what we actually need to communicate with the internet is, first of all, HTTP client, HTTP request, address that we want to ask, and then we just need to put the response properly by using a proper body handler and sending out the request via client. Then we can use our response as much as we want. So this is just a JSON. Of course, we can't directly map it out right now to Java. I can't really use it a lot because it's just a string. But in the next videos, what I'm going to be showing to you is how to use outside libraries to actually be able to then map out JSON values to a Java object. So with that being said, thank you very much and see you in the next video.